I am going to get to have a little bit of fun today because I'm decorating the greenhouse. So I want it to look just really, I don't know, awesome, but I'm not even sure what that means yet. I have to bring all my plants that I had stored inside the house out here. So we are talking about some colorful things like begonias and dipladenia, things that have bright pinks and reds. So that's really cool. I want to add some lights in here. And I want to get it dressed up so ultimately I can have some friends over, have some drinks in here. That's what today is all about. Hi, you guys. This is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in Growing Zone 8B in southeastern North Carolina. It is the end of November right now. It is freezing cold and super duper windy outside right now. But inside, I feel very cozy and protected. So without further ado, time to decorate the greenhouse. You know that everything I try to do in terms of gardening is about staying on a budget and not spending too much money. So when we were putting these greenhouse panels into the greenhouse to get everything ready the other day, I plopped these Christmas lights that kind of look like icicles up here because, well, I had them and I figured they would be free. However, the light is bright white instead of the warm light, so it is not the color that I actually want. So unfortunately, I'm taking down the lights I put up and doing something different. By the way, the gorgeous bougainvillea that is currently not blooming, but right here is thorny. So you got to be careful of that as you're doing this kind of work around it. Not that you can see the lights that I put up right now, but like everything else, they took a lot longer than I expected. But now I want to get my party lights, string lights, put back up on the outside of the greenhouse. And if all I can do today is lights, so be it. More tomorrow. Okay, I am back at it again. It is still windy again today. It's still cold. Yesterday I got so warm working inside of the greenhouse, and then you step out here and it's frigid again. Ah! Anyway, this is the fun part because now I get to bring more of my beautiful goodies inside, figure out the placement of that, and then just make the whole thing look great. We had an outdoor bar and it basically deteriorated and rusted out over time, but I kept the glass from the tops of it. So I'm going to use this as a tabletop. I know you know my pot of Dipladenia with the creeping Jenny coming out of it very well, because this is something that was in 1,000 of my garden tours because it was so amazing. It got a little crinkly being inside the house for the last week because I didn't water a lot. I didn't want leaking pots everywhere, knowing that they were only sitting there temporarily. So once I get everything into its place, I'm gonna have to give it all a good watering. Look at this creeping Jenny is really thirsty. Hopefully it'll bounce back, and if it doesn't, I'll just have to clip it back and let it start some new growth. I'm also going to be bringing in my begonias from outside and the caladiums that I had just dug up out of the ground to do that testing. More begonias here, and this is the polka dot plant. So they're also going to find homes in here somewhere. Yee! It is so windy. And I have a banana leaf that wants to keep getting in my way. So while I'm at all the dressing up, I'm going to take this one evergreen that I had gotten on my clearance sale, and I'm going to put it into a pot right here in front of the greenhouse for a little extra winter interest. Look at the beautiful pine cones that are growing on top of this. This was one of the ones that was unmarked when I bought it, but I marked it down as a dwarf Japanese cedar. So it is definitely going into my full ground landscape next year, but for right now, it's going to serve as a potted evergreen. Another thing I really want to do to dress up the outside of the greenhouse is put a couple of wreaths on the doors. Now, I'm a little leery about doing it right now with the wind being what it is. Well, maybe I'll wait till the end to do that so they don't blow off as soon as I put them on. But I have those to go up as well. While my Dragon's Breath celosia is still looking good, it's just ever so slightly beginning to turn on some of these little fluffy blooms. I'm going to cut some pieces so I can have it drying, hanging in the greenhouse for a little extra decor. It's like I feel terrible cutting it, but at the same time, it's not going to last anyway. So of course, in order to have all the lights going that I want everywhere, string lights around the whole garden, I have extension cords. So with that in mind, I have this gorgeous orange cord running right in front of the greenhouse. So I'm burying it in the gravel. So A, nobody trips, and B, nobody sees it. So I brought my gardening bench inside or in here. This is the one that was on my front porch, but now that the Christmas decor is going to come out, that's all changing. So I'm using this in here. I definitely want to have a plant or a little decor on here, but not too much, because when I have my friends for drinks, really we only have enough space for so many things. So we'll need to be able to use this as a drink and appetizer holder as well. So I'm just going to figure out how to change a few things around. So I have more begonias all coming in here. So I have various pots of things like that. Then this is the little arrangement I made the other day that has the Croton Petra and pothos in here. So I have lots of things we've talked about previously, and now I'm just figuring out the best way for them to be placed to look good and also get enough light and everything. So of course, the greenhouse is not only something that I want to look pretty, but it's functional as well. So this is really going to be my workspace moving forward when I'm propagating or doing different things, potting things up. I will be using this. I think my husband and I are planning on building more shelving somehow, but you know, you have to one thing at a time, right? It was important to get the greenhouse together so the plants could be in here first, and then we'll worry about building additional structure or storage. So over here right now is basically just this space for my tools and the items that I need to work with. So all I'm going to do is just neaten it up a little bit. I mean, we're talking about twine, some parts left over from the irrigation system. This is the tool to put the clips on to the greenhouse panels. So this clip right here, very precious. I've ordered more on Amazon to make sure I have additional, but I'm not even sure if they're gonna work, honestly. I have some just rubber gloves in here because sometimes I work with things that are stinky that I don't want to get on my hands. My little mister, that's adorable. Gardening gloves. So obviously I'm using this window box liner as a catch-all right now, but so be it. It could be tucked into the back area. Maybe I can even hide it with something else that's pretty. You know what really stinks? I got 2 different kinds of suction cup clips for my wreaths to be able to be hung up out on the doors. And the suction cups won't stick to the plastic and they won't stick to the metal cross members. So I may be like hanging the wreaths in here temporarily just to make it look pretty, even though that wasn't the intention. The Dipladenia that I dug out of the waterfall. My mom, who lives in New York's pot of begonias and ivy that I'm overwintering for her, and one of my clearance hibiscus. So I have a basil plant that I'm going to bring inside and just kind of see what happens, if it'll produce basil all winter. I have no idea. And then this is my oleander propagation. Can you see there's little tiny buds up at the top? I don't know if you can see them like this. But I'm going to obviously try to nurture this guy and see, maybe I'll even have some flowers on my oleander this winter. So this is it for now. You might recognize my head planter from my rock garden over here. And of course my aqua blue flamingo from my poolside garden over here. So then this evening, I will make sure the lights are on, light some candles, get some drinks and stuff out here, and show you what it looks like at night. This whole gardening year, I feel like I've shared with you over and over again 2 of my favorite things. And one of them is saving money while we're gardening. And the second thing is creating these little vignettes or mini setups that are like just beautiful spaces. And this is the best of both of those worlds, because this is my greenhouse where I'm bringing things into overwinter and propagate new items in there, etc. So that's the saving money aspect of it. And then of course it is a beautiful setup as a little vignette. So I'm very excited to show you all the lighting and the way that the greenhouse is looking right now, right before Thanksgiving. Thank you for being part of my journey from being out in the garden to into the greenhouse, and I hope that you feel as inspired as I do. More videos to come always, because I think sharing inspiration and gardening ideas is just amazing and can make us all feel great, even in the winter when our hands aren't out in the dirt. Thanks again for all of your support as well, and until next time, happy planting.